Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for tuning into the video. If you are new and you haven't subscribed, please do consider subscribing. It's absolutely free. In this video, I'll be looking at the teasers of Skeem for August. On August the 1st, Pumolo has Kwezi by the short hairs. Principal is shocked to find her two nemesis together and assumes the worst. Manduli makes a bold move concerning her mental health. While the walls seem to be closing in on Principal, Lehasa bears his heart to Pretty. Manduli finally apologizes to someone she has wronged in the past. Rosina's character is tested to the max when two arch rivals pull her from side to side. Lehasa and Pretty start on a clean slate. John sets up and apologizes to Manduli for his mistake. Alfred rallies all sorts of forces against Principal, leaving her feeling the heat. Pretty realizes that her mission to acclimatize herself into Joburg hangs on Lehasa's innocence. Rose inadvertently brings back a blast from Frankio's sordid past. A strike is looming against Principal, and no one can do anything about it. The worst thing happens to a social media beaten Clement. Tough Hospital needs a new receptionist, as in yesterday. Evelyn's testimony may be dreaded nail in Tobakale's coffin. Clement's depression regards in his phone heightens when he realizes how much he has lost. Principal is confronted by truth that are hard for her to swallow. Pex learns harsh lessons for his actions, while Clement despairs as a search for his phone comes to a dead end. Principal finally gets her chance at the rare or rather hearing. Oritonda surprises Clement with a new gadget. Melita is contemplative when Nora reminds her of her nemesis, while Principal tries to extend an olive branch to Evelyn, but she is nabbed. Clement's skeletons come back to haunt him, but that doesn't stop him or rather his star from rising. A beaten blast from Maggie's past shows up at Tufts Hospital for an interview. The end of an era befalls Tuff High, too much jubilation and heartbreak. A rising star growing obsession with social media worries his loved ones. Tough Hospital receptionist post finally gets filled, but not by an oblivious candidate. While it's one of the hardest days in Jacobeth's life and career, Alfred is desperate to officially return to work. The dangerous world of social media slowly sucks in Clement. While Manaka blows a gasket when Alfred gets in his way, Clement or Redondo are spontaneous and add a bit of flavor to their relationship. Eunice receives a letter with unpleasant news. Evelyn decides to bury the hatchet with her, and the outside world is too overwhelming for Eunice. Clement and Ordonda plan their next trip, and this time it's out of Limpopo. Evelyn puts Alfred in his place, leaving him stranded. Clement's preparation for a vacation seem to be doomed. A looming family visits unsettled John. While tough teachers are flawed to learn who the new teacher is, Eunice doesn't get the reception she anticipated from her former employee. Clement does an unthinkable to save his vacation. While it's the first day back at office, or rather not for a former employee of Tough High, a relationship is ultimately tested, resulting in a romantical getaway being called off. Eunice is filled with regret over one apology, but makes inroads with another. While Evelyn receives an email from the district that might change her life, but Alfred doesn't. Clement and Uritonda hit the road and taken on a romantic adventure. Miss Como reads her happy the riot act for threatening a former hospital employee callously. Alfred finally receives some good news, but he is worried about his competition. While Clement's obsession with his phone starts rubbing Oritonda up the wrong way, the Ratoka family arrive at Maputlas. Alfred is shaken ahead of his big day tomorrow. Kate is excited about an idea Mapitsi proposes to them, But Candice isn't. While Clement and Ori's relationship faces some challenges while on trip. An interview at the district starts off and then quickly spirals out of control. A beautiful trip is met by a really tragic hate crime. Two business owners are at loggerheads over an interesting business idea. While Alfred wheels come off, Pretty and Lehasa come through for a couple following the tragic romantic getaway. Mapitsi consults with Leto regarding a new business idea she is undertaking, while Mr. DeSanto's tough high announcement leaves many staggered. Mantuli has a change of heart about Ori following the ordeal. Mapitsi gets her ducks in a row for her new venture. And finally, a celebration is in the order for a new chief at Tough High. Mapitsi, after stumbling into some walls, decides to ride the publishing wave solo. Clement finally tells his story live on air.